Okay, that is us. Hello, everyone, and welcome in to the High School Football Tonight Show, powered by TriStateFootball.com here on Fox Sports 1360. My name is Safwan Alvi, and I am joined by my friend, by my partner in crime, the dawn of high school football in the tri-state area. His name is Greg Shoemaker, and we are TriStateFootball.com, your go-to destination for all things high school football in Southwest Ohio, Eastern Indiana, and Northern Kentucky. Be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms, right? The venue formerly known as Twitter and Instagram at TS Football. Again, that's at TS Football. You can like us on Facebook and on YouTube, and you can subscribe to us on YouTube as well. Just in the search bars, type in TriStateFootball.com. High School Football Tonight is brought to you in part by AE Door and Window Company. They sell the best and service the rest. Thomas More University. Accelerate your career with a business degree from Thomas More University. And finally, Penn Station East Coast Subs. Penn Station, it's all in good taste. We want to give a shout out to Keegan Wood and Elena Moore from Friday Football Live hanging out with us tonight. We thank you guys for doing what you do. We got Kenzie Bartone behind the glass. We are having a lot of fun. There has been pandemonium, Greg, all over the tri-state area in this week 14 slate of games. All of our local teams, the games have gone final, Greg. We have so much to get to. We are with you guys until 11 p.m., so do not touch that dial. Greg, real quick, I want to get to some other games, but the game we heard just right here on these airways, the GCL South rematch between Moeller and St. X, first-seeded Moeller, sixth-seeded St. X at Mason High School. What a game this was. There is just so much to dive into with this game. Moeller's offense was good. St. X had multiple opportunities to even win the game. Greg, real quick, just overall thoughts on this Moeller game.
Well, I mean, I think when it's line play, look at the line play for Moeller on both sides of the line when they needed it. How about Griff Daly coming up with an interception on a 2-point conversion late in the game for Moeller, and then Griff Daly coming up with a big one-side kick recovery after that. The key players or role players play key roles in games like this. And boy, Griff Daly came out and showed some big heart late in the game and making big plays. And, Tyler Jocelyn, the running back for Moeller, big game tonight. And, Daniel Vollmer, again, another outstanding evening for St. X. So, but again, line play did it. We watched Christian Harris be in the backfield all night long for Moeller, and just a really solid team. And what, now 4 straight in a row for Moeller?
Yeah, for the fourth consecutive year.
Fourth straight regional title.
Moeller is regional champions, right? 3 straight years they defeated Lakota West, and then this year they defeated the St. Xavier
And
Bombers.
what we know, they will not play Springfield next week. They will play the other GWAC team, Centerville, who knocks off Wayne tonight.
Absolutely perfect segue, Greg, right over there in Division I, Region 2, second-seeded Centerville. They were taking on 8th-seeded Wayne, a 23-14 matchup there. Shane Cole from Centerville had 2 rushing touchdowns. He had a 73-yard passing touchdown. Greg, the Centerville team looking very good. It's going to be Moeller versus Centerville state semifinal.
And today, Centerville really got after it over Wayne. This is only Centerville's won 8 straight and Wayne 7-2 in the last 9 straight for Centerville. Wayne's 7-2 in that same period of time with 2 losses to Centerville, but 15 tackles for losses tonight for Centerville. So they're going to get in the backfield. They had 5 sacks tonight over on Tyrell Lewis, the quarterback at Wayne. They're going to bring the heat. And so Moeller's going to be ready for it.
Yeah, Moeller versus Centerville, and anybody wondering what the other matchup will be, it's going to be St. Ed's versus Olentangy Liberty, right? And the winner of that game will go to state. All right, Greg, let's jump over to Division II, Region 8, 2 local teams, right? We had the first-seeded Anderson versus second-seeded LaSalle. What a great game this was. Anderson moves on to the state semifinal for the second consecutive year, defeating the LaSalle Lancers by a score of 28-21. And Greg, the story was Anderson moving on, right? That is number 1, but a big shout out and a lot of credit has to go to LaSalle, right? This Anderson offense was just high flying, 35, 40 points easily. Anderson, they get to 28, but it was a struggle. Anderson moves on. Congratulations to them. but we got to give a shout out and a big congratulations to an excellent season from LaSalle.
Absolutely. I mean, 11 wins. They had 6 total of the previous 2 years combined. So just good stuff by Pat McLaughlin, the coach of the year in Division II. And, that defense was good. They did the GCL South proud this year. Unfortunately, they couldn't come away with their 6th regional title in school history.
Yeah, Greg, I know it's not a local game, so I want to just gloss over it, but a big thing happened in Division II tonight. Massillon, Washington, right, the prohibited favorites in Division II, they lost tonight to Big Walnut, if I'm not mistaken. I know they did lose, right? It was to Big Walnut. So Anderson is going to be taking on Big Walnut next week in the Division II state semifinal game. Just Greg, quick thoughts. Does this now mean the path, maybe not easier, but the path is a little bit more open for Anderson to make it to that state championship game with Massillon being out of the picture?
Well, you'd like to think so, but Big Walnut, they've won 13 in a row, and they lost their opener to Bishop Watterson, who's 14-0. They're in Division III. But we also remember Bishop Watterson put a hurting on Harrison earlier this year, or actually later in the regular season. But this is a very, very good Big Walnut school. I mean, you beat Massillon, Washington. You're saying something. 14-7 tonight. They play some pretty doggone good defense there at Big Walnut. But again, not having to face Massillon, that's out of your head now, and that could be interesting. So the state champion is out in Division II.
Absolutely.
Reigning state champion.
Yeah, reigning state champion, those Massillon, Washington. All right, Greg, I want to jump to Division IV, Region 16. Wow. The regional championship belongs to the Taft Senators. They were taking on Kettering Alter, who was in the state championship game last year, right? There's a lot to talk about with them. 26-12. Taft gets the job done up there at Monroe High School, right? They were playing at Hornet Stadium. Greg, there is so much to like. We know they're in the Final Four. But head coach Tyler Williams, right, Drayden Pavey, Monsanto Tolbert. Greg, talk to me about this Taft team. What an excellent story and just talent everywhere on this roster.
Historic night, first ever CMAC team to win a regional title. It's so exciting there. Tyler's done a great job. Look, I keep looking up their numbers. They got guys all over the field and athletes, and they could be headed for a showdown with Glenville Academy. And those are maybe two of the best athletic teams that you may see in small school football in 2024 for sure.
Absolutely. Taft, there's so much to like about this team and make it to the Final Four. And you talked about how awesome it was to see a CMAC team, right?
That's
a CMAC
awesome
team taking it to that next level and making it, like you said, history. And we got to love it for the CMAC.
But let's take our hats off to all the coaches that started this. We started with Mike Martin at Taft, right? And then there came Greg Conwell and Jeff Cargile and now Tyler. So for about the past decade, 15 years, 20 years, that program has been on solid footing. I think it's 10 straight playoff appearances, 4 coaches in that 10, 15-year period. Just a great job by Taft. Way to keep it going there and way to put Cincinnati public school football on the map.
Absolutely. Again, Taft season, they are far from done, but they do win the Division IV.
Hey, they're legit. They're a legit state champion contender. There's no doubt about it.
Absolutely. If you take down Alter, right, who was the state runner-up last year.
Twice this year now.
Back to back.
Second time
right?
they've taken them down.
Beat them early in the season, and then they also beat them right here. And Greg, it was convincing, right? 26-12. This game was 26-6, right, late in the game. Alter had a score to make the score look not as bad as it actually was. Taft dominated this game from start to finish.
Yeah, I mean they're a very good looking football team, especially. I mean, just the athletes all over that field is just great to watch.
Absolutely. All right, we are up against it. We are going to take a quick break. We still have a lot of Bluegrass State football to get to. There was history made there, a 32-game winning streak snap, a 13-point lead that's been blown. Greg and I are going to get into that and hopefully get some head coaches on the hotline as well. So stick with us on the High School Football Tonight show, powered by TriStateFootball.com on Fox Sports 1360.
Kenzie, let's try to get Evan Dreyer from Anderson. Do you think we should try to get Eddie Evanston on the bus? I didn't put him on there, but shit, I didn't think they were going to win.
It wouldn't be a bad idea after beating a team like Boyle County. It's worth a shot. It's worth a shot in the dark.
That's what I'm thinking.
So we're going for Dreyer or Evanston?
Dreyer right now.
Dreyer. Yep.
And Tyler's on there too. We can try to get Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's try to get those three. Those three are the best coaches.
Yeah. Anderson. Why am I looking up GCL South? I'm like looking up Anderson. I'm looking at GCL South.
That's fine.
I don't think it's up yet.
I only heard of that once.
Football.
It keeps on doing that.
Anderson.
I also just don't want
Yeah.
to listen.
Stats aren't up, but they are undefeated.
First time in school history they've been 14-0.
Mm-hmm. Only relative they tonight, and then that Whitten Woods game are the only relatively close games they played all year.
The Do Lawless video.
Kenzie, after this break, let's try to get. I just sent you Eddie Evanston's number from Cubcat, so we'll try to get him on the after this break. I just emailed that to you or texted you. Sorry, texted you.
So Dreyer, Williams, and then Evanston.
No,
Possibly.
Dreyer Evanston.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
fine.
Dreyer, and then the
Yeah.
Williams. Okay.
After this break, let's try to get. I texted you Eddie Evanston's number. We'll try to get him from Cubcat after this.
There's no shot. Where?
Did you get Coach Dreyer? Okay.
Is it Pulaski County or Pulaski County?
Pulaski.
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 We're gonna have a ton of commercials. Then we did this last week. I'm like,
Why are these commercials like 6 minutes long?
well, it's because I gotta get everything in.
Please, can I buy this?
And now we're gonna go off at 30, so we only have like 10 minutes.
I
And if
will.
we have a coach, that's even less.
Yeah.
I want to try it.
And if you don't
No,
have a
you're
coach,
not
we can
allowed.
knock out all the-
Not till February. Guys, how do we feel about Spike Duncan peppermint mocha ice latte?
I'm not a peppermint guy. Are you asking me or just like what do I think about like yes or no?
It's a peppermint mocha latte, but like out with alcohol in it.
It's spiked.
Hey. I don't drink, but
I don't either.
whatever.
But a peppermint mocha is.
You like peppermint mocha? You like that? It's coming up on Christmas time, so if that
I know.
seasonal,
Mm-hmm.
we are in the season.
Well, Big B has it year round. It's not peppermint, but it's mint.
Oh, straight mint, and then
Yeah.
peppermint mocha comes during
Mhm.
Christmas time.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll take mint over peppermint, but still.
We got 1, 2, 3 seconds.
Dude, please load. I'm trying to purchase this.
Okay, so we're just
Okay.
NK what? All right, that's us.
It's us.
Welcome back in. High School Football Tonight Show, powered by TriStateFootball.com. Here on Fox Sports 1360, Safwan Alvi, Greg Shoemaker, TriStateFootball.com, joined with Keegan Wood and Elena Moore from Friday Football Live, Kenzie Bartone behind the glass. Greg, after talking all that Southwest Ohio football, let's jump over to the Bluegrass State because we had history all over this state and different classes as well. I want to jump straight into the Class 4A Region 3 game between the Covington Catholic Colonels and Boyle County. Boyle County came into this game on a 32-game winning streak, back-to-back state champs. And if I saw something correctly on social media, they won 4 consecutive state championships. I believe that's true. We know for sure it was at least 2. Boyle County is the back-to-back state champions, and they've won 32 games in a row. That streak has been snapped by the Covington Catholic Colonels. Greg, they win by a score of 31-28, and we were talking about this on our preview show, talking about it off camera, off air. If there was any team, Greg, and any coach that was going to get the job done against a Boyle County team that is not used to losing at all, it was going to be Covcat. They make history tonight. They move on. Covcat 31, Boyle County 28. Greg, what are your thoughts seeing history tonight?
Well, I mean, look at, Eddie Evanston's one of the great coaches out there, very underrated coach. And I'm watching a little bit of the post-game celebration on Twitter right now. And man, hats off. I mean, this team's, they lost their first 2 games and they have been on a roll ever since. And they've been playing smash mouth football. And he's, he adapts to the kids that he has on the team. And it's just great to see. This is a huge win. I know they've had a lot of big wins in program history, but this has got to be right there with them. The best of all time.
Absolutely. And this game, like you quickly mentioned, has so much mental psyche on Covington Catholic. If they go on and win the state championship, which we all think is very possible now after defeating Boyle County, this win is going to be remembered, Greg, for years upon years on this state championship win. Again, don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but with, again, the reigning 2-time state champions, they just defeated them. So there is not a team Covcat cannot get over the hump. This is going to be a historic win, Greg. What an awesome way to see this. And do you have anything? I think you were looking at something.
Yeah, I mean, this Boyle County team,
yeah,
they beat St. Edwards. And St. Edwards is in the Final Four of the Division I, and they won. So Boyle County went to St. Edwards and won. That's a long bus ride. So this team is mentally tough. And then for Covcat to come down and win this one, just so awesome stuff. I'm trying to look up there.
Yeah, St. Ed's is a 3-time reigning Division I state champion.
On their way to their 4th too. So
exactly.
It looks like Boyle County has won 4 in a row. So I'm just trying to check that and confirm that.
So 4 consecutive state championships.
Looking for their 5th. Yeah,
they were looking for their 5th. 32-game winning streak. Covington Catholic snaps it. Greg, NKY comes up again. What an awesome win tonight. But now I do want to go to a little bit of a heartbreak. Greg, Class 1A Region 3. Newcath was taking on Campbellsville. Newcath had a 24-14 lead with 2:17 left to go in the game. But unfortunately, they blew the lead and lost the game. 27-24. Campbellsville beats Newcath. Greg, Newcath had a really good season, but what a heartbreaking way to end your season, knowing you had the game locked up. 2 minutes to go. Game is blown. Really, really tough news for you.
Yeah, and we had Coach Lickard on in the pre-game portion of the show, and he was all excited. He thought this team had a good chance, and they were there. But second straight year they've gone to Campbellsville. They lost by 5 last year. They lose by 3 this year. Tough place to play. A long bus ride home for the Thoroughbreds, but they played pretty well, man. A good year for those guys. Caleb Cole had an outstanding year for those for the Thoroughbreds, and Coach Lickard just continues to get it done. And next year they're going to have their first ever home field advantage. So can't wait to see what Newcath has next year. We'll follow them because they have a lot of the juniors back on from this team that have been will be like 3-year starters and 4-year lettermen in this next class coming back.
Yeah, absolutely. Heartbreaking loss for Newcath, but we do want to congratulate them on still a very, very good season. And now, Greg, I do want to talk a little chalk as well, right? Class 2A, Region 3, Beechwood was taking on Martin County tonight. The final score was 44-7, right? We know it was a blowout, something we were mostly expecting to. So Beechwood moves on to the next round in Class 2A, Region 3. This game was 31-0, Greg, at the end of the first quarter. Right. And by the time they got midway through the second quarter, it was already 44-0. So by the time even before halftime even got here, Greg, the starters were pulled and the backups were gone. And not only does Beechwood win, Greg, one of Beechwood's biggest challengers, kind of similar to Division II over here in Southwest Ohio, Mayfield, right? The team that plays Beechwood pretty close. They're always playing good games. They lost tonight as well. They were dominated by, it was Lexington, either Catholic or Lexington Christian. It was 47-7. So Mayfield was dominated today. So Greg, Beechwood moves on, and one of their biggest contenders, they go down as well.
Yeah, how about that? I mean, Beechwood, another big performance tonight. They just keep rolling right along. And, this is the 3, 4, 6, 7 games now in a row, or 6 out of the last 7 games they've given up 7 points or less. So they just keep rolling. I really like Beechwood, and they've been there, they've done it. Last year they fell a little short, but Clay Hayden continues to pass the ball really well. They're just so deep all the way around. They're a very good small school football team.
Yeah,
there's not a lot of chinks in that armor for sure.
Yep. Another school, I would say program that, Greg, very simply, they reload, they don't rebuild, right? They just year in, year out, they do what they do. All right, Greg, it's time to talk about the collision course that we have all been waiting for over there in Class 5A Region 3. Right, Cooper was taking on Southwestern tonight, and Highlands was taking on Pulaski County, and both of those schools got the job done in big fashion. Cooper winning their game 56-15, and Highlands beating Pulaski County 42-18. And Greg, here we go. Yet again, next week, Cooper, Highlands, Greg, bring out the fireworks, get your popcorn ready. The game we have all been waiting for. Two of the best teams in Class 5A will do battle. Early thoughts on this big rematch?
4th time in the last 2 years they're going to be playing each other, and every game's been close so far. It's going to be a night to just be, look, I mean, you're going to play for the state championship, so we are going to have at least one team from Kentucky in the state championship game, and it'll either be Cooper or Highlands for sure. But man, oh man, this is. I mean, these two teams are so familiar with each other. You can't make mistakes here, and we're going to see how good. I mean, Cooper's just putting points on the board left and right now, and they seem to be a well-oiled machine. They seem to be a little bit of a team of destiny with Alston Alexander being hurt for a little bit and now coming back, and they got a little bit of that going on their side. But boy, Bob Spire, he's going to get it done with this team. Don't kid yourself. He's a sly fox, and this team may downplay this game a little bit, but I guarantee you they are going to be smash mouth football on it with Cooper next Friday.
Absolutely. And like you mentioned, these two teams are so familiar with each other. The preparation, you get prepared, but at the end of the day, when you're so familiar with an opponent, right, like a St. X versus Moeller, right, these teams, it's a matter of who makes the least amount of mistakes, right, who wins the turnover battles, who doesn't shoot themselves in the foot. That's really what this game will come down to.
Yeah, and we've seen that. I mean, we saw that in the tournament so far this week and last week as well. You can't make mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Greg, I want to get to a quick Indiana score, right? The IHSAA playoffs. Unfortunately, all of our local teams in Indiana have lost, right? Class 3A semi-state. A big congratulations to Batesville. Unfortunately, they did lose to Heritage Hills. They were shut out and blanked 42-0. Greg, but look, right? What an awesome year for Batesville, right? They have nothing to hang their hat about. They made it to the semi-state, right? They defeated Lawrenceburg on the way, which was a big one for them. Big shout out to Batesville. Talk to me about this team and this season and what's the outlook for them.
They were a senior-laden team, bunch of kids that started as sophomores, got really good last year, lost to Heritage Hills in the regional finals, 24-21. But this Jet Goldsberry for Heritage Hills, pretty special player. He's run for 1,400 yards, passed for 1,500 yards, 23 rushing touchdowns, 23 passing touchdowns. It was just too much. This kid's only a junior, and you know what? Batesville may be there again next year, but I think next year is going to be a Lawrenceburg year.
Absolutely. Lawrenceburg is always there. We always know they go on those long winning streaks. So again, big congratulations to Batesville. They do go down tonight, 42-0 to Heritage Hills. All right, we are up against it. Going to take a quick break. Coming up after that, we are going to go back into that Southwest Ohio football, right? Talk about that St. X Moeller game. Hopefully get some winning coaches on the hotline as well with you until 11 p.m. So stick with us on the High School Football Tonight Show, powered by TriStateFootball.com on Fox Sports 1360.
I wonder if we should just try to get Barrett Cohen on to talk about the Moeller game.
Be like, if coaches aren't going to answer, I would say maybe try the coaches, but if they don't answer, then
let's try Tyler Williams from Taft. You may have to leave him a message too. But if you can't get a hold of him, try Barrett Cohen at Moeller. That's cool. That's 10:30 already. After the break.
We got 2 more
Oh, shit.
seconds. If nobody answers, we'll go right back to Southwest Ohio.
Well, we got to talk about Ryle.
Oh yeah, the Ryle game.
Yeah.
Because I went to the Cupcake game
Yeah.
first. That's right. Yeah, we got to talk about Ryle.
We'll do that.
They've been laying the smackdown. They've been shutting out everybody. Well, not shutting out, but just golfing.
Play with a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
I guess. Oh, look at some of these Kentucky States.
So that, I think a coach will answer, but if we don't have a coach, we're going to
That
play.
Lakers jersey was gas.
It all just depends on the coaches
Yeah.
if they answer or not.
Dude, I want to go. I'm not trying to blow all my
I'm
money.
on some reads.
I know that jacket's gonna be like $60. Minimal. Dude, I love the fisheye look. I grew up on skate videos though.
Oh, looking up something. Oh,
Dude, none of this is loading.
Drinks.
Mm-mm.
I love the look.
Mm-mm.
This is one of the most goated videos of all time.
Beechwood will play
This
Somerset.
skate video was
Somerset.
so sick.
The Briar Jumpers. They have a purple field.
Somerset next round.
Somerset sitting at 8-4. Covcath will play Corbin.
Look at this.
Corbin.
Corbin.
Look at the
They beat Ashland.
Mm-mm.
They're 11-1.
the field of view is crazy. Like that's such a
Okay, might
sick
go on the
shot.
state.
Yeah, maybe.
You beat Loyal County. I'm not betting against them in any other game they're going to play.
There's Ryle.
That's such a sick shot.
Class 6A.
Ryle's got Great Crossing.
That's who they're playing.
Great Crossing's in their league.
We'll play Great Crossing next week.
Oh my God. Great Crossing got hot all of a sudden.
Great Crossing's in their league.
Yeah, their district.
Great Crossing
They beat Barron County.
in.
Who?
But Tyler Williams will call back when he gets to the school.
Okay. See if you can get Barrett Cohen.
Try Barrett Cohen.
Ryle, Great Crossing. A Class 6A District 6 rematch from, looks like 10, 9. Week 8 rematch where Ryle won that game 36-8 at home at Ryle.
I know.
Lyle won first meeting. 36-8.
Week 8 of the regular season. So a couple rematch of district games in the state semifinals.
So Beechwood's going to play Somerset. Cupcat's going to play Corbin. And then Ryle plays.
Barrett
Oh,
Cohen's
Barrett
right.
Cohen, the director of community engagement, right?
I just.
That's such a sick photo.
Get the skinny.
All right, welcome back. As always, we thank you for listening to the High School Football Tonight Show, powered by TriStateFootball.com, Fox Sports 1360, Safwan Elby, Greg Shoemaker, TriStateFootball.com. We want to give a big thank you and shout out to our sponsors here at TriStateFootball.com. They are proud supporters of high school football. Gold Star Chili. Follow your own recipe. Mellow Window and Carpet Cleaning, the best in residential cleaning services. The Underground Sports Shop, showcasing pride on and off the field. And finally, the U.S. Marines. The few, the proud, the Marines. All right, Greg, as we move forward here, we are excited to be joined by our first, I wouldn't say coach of the evening, but who we call the Director of Community Engagement for the Moeller Crusaders. Our friend, Barrett Cohen, is with us talking about the Moeller victory against GCL South foe St. X in the regional championship. Moeller is regional champs for the fourth consecutive year. Barrett, my friend, thank you so much for joining us. And I know you guys are celebrating over there in Mason.
Yeah, Barrett, this offensive line did a great job tonight. Tyler Jocelyn had some big runs, but when they needed it, they really did an excellent job. And to be quite honest, the same way on defense. But the line play has really been one of the best stories about Moeller all season. Tell us a little bit about what you saw tonight from the guys up front.
Yeah, Barrett, and that's where I wanted to go with my next question was this is such a close game, right? They say football is a game of inches, and it's even tighter when you're playing teams you're familiar with, GCL South. Matt Pontoski made a couple of, thread the needle type of throws in this game, right? That could have went either way, right? Football is the game of inches. When you have a quarterback like that, even in inclement weather, right? It wasn't the perfect passing situation tonight. He still made the throws when they mattered most. It's got to feel good, right, for head coach Bethiani and, the whole offense, knowing that no matter what the situation is, he can make those type of throws in the biggest moments.
We're talking with Barrett Cohen. Barrett Cohen from Moeller. He is the Director of Community Engagement at the school, but he's also one of the guys on the sidelines and does the podcast there at Moeller. And Barrett, when we look at your matchup next week, you got Centerville. Have you heard where they're going to play this one? Hopefully we don't have to go all the way back up to Piqua. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen anything come across from OHSAA yet. So I was, but God, that trip up there with two teams this close to each other, that's just ridiculous. I mean, I just hope it stays down south. Yeah.
Yet again, that is Barrett Cohen, our friend and the Director of Community Engagement at Moeller High School. Barrett, we want to thank you so much for joining us yet again. We love talking to you. Appreciate you taking the time, and have fun next week, and best of luck to those Moeller Crusaders.
Hey,
Thanks,
hey, enjoy that trip up to Ann Arbor tomorrow and wish Jordan some love for us. All right. Talk to you soon, buddy.
And Greg, there it is. And Greg, this Moeller team, he mentioned it at the end, 4 consecutive regional
It's not easy to do,
championships.
man.
It is not easy
Not
to
easy.
do. Division 1 Region 4 is one of the best, districts, regions in the entire country, right? Forget
yeah.
Southwest Ohio, forget state of Ohio. It is recognized by all the outlets, right? Max Preps and 24/7 Sports, whatever you want to talk about, as one of the 5 or 10 most competitive and difficult regions to get out of, and Moeller has now done it 4 consecutive years.
Yeah, I mean, you win that pod in Region 4, you're special. I mean, there's no doubt about it. And hats off to 4 in a row. It's just not easy to do. And to be a program like this, you had to beat St. X twice, and you have to get through Lakota West and all the other stuff. And it's so cool to see this happen at Moeller.
Yeah, and they've done it every way with different coaches, right? Coach Elder, right? Coach Bethiani, right? You had Jordan Marshall, right? You had Mr. Ohio football. They've won games 10-7, right, against St. X, and then they won a game 28-13. No matter which way, Greg, the game dictated, the pace, the weather, the rhythm, the style of play, Moeller always rises up to the challenge. They are the benchmark. They are the measuring stick for a reason, and they are now yet again in familiar territory.
Absolutely. And like their chances this time around, and we're talking about Ponatoski making big plays. He had that 4th quarter drive in that game against Springfield in the state semifinal last year, and we thought that was going to be it.
Yep.
That was the drive that was going to win it for him. But clutch player, clutch time. I sure like my odds with Matt Ponatoski and the ball in his hands. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, again, congratulations to Moeller. Greg, I want to talk really quickly about a Northern Kentucky game we glossed over because they're just beating everybody so bad. Let's go to Class 6A Region 2, right? How about the Ryle Raiders? They were taking on Central Hardin tonight, and again, they take care of business 43-14, Greg. They are going to be moving on to be playing a familiar foe in Great Crossing, who is actually in Ryle's district. They played earlier in the season, right? In Week 8, Ryle, no surprisingly they dominated that game. But Greg, this team is flowing with confidence. They are beating everybody soundly. This Ryle team is really fun to watch right now.
And Nathan Virax, the quarterback's really caught his stride here. The junior, he took over for his brother this year. His brother set the passing yard record in Boone County last season. And, it's fun to watch, but we sort of thought, for the last couple of years, Ryle was there. They played this incredibly difficult schedule, and now these kids that are seniors, it's starting to pay off for them. They know how to win these big games, and not only do they know how to win them, they're doing it in big time fashion. So Great Crossing next week, they beat them 36-8 in the regular season, and they had their way with them pretty much. So we'll see what happens again. But I mean, Mike Kingler's done one heck of a job with this team. They are a legitimate chance to win this whole thing. Bring back the first ever state championship in Class 6A for a Northern Kentucky team. We've never had it.
How about that? Ryle looking to make history in terms of the matchups coming on. We know that Class 5A Region 3, we know it's going to be Cooper and Highlands, right? We are all excited for that. Over there in Class 4A, Covington Catholic, after snapping the 32-game win streak of Boyle County, the reigning 4-time state champions. They are going to be playing Corbin next week, right, Greg? They are 11-1. Quick thoughts on that matchup?
Well, Corbin's always got a good program. They're tough to play. They're down there on the border of the Tennessee and Kentucky border. It's not an easy place to play. I don't know who's going to have that home game next week. I haven't looked at that one, but if they have to drive, or vice versa, whoever's got to take that long drive, it's not easy. So, but man, Cat, wow. Just like I said, we talked about Eddie earlier, and he's just one of the great coaches that I don't think gets enough love.
Yeah, absolutely. And over there in Class 2A Region 3, Greg, Beechwood, they are going to be playing Somerset in the next round. And I guess the question,
Rider jumpers.
I guess I'm just going to ask this question in terms of, one, is this game going to be competitive? Does Somerset have a good chance? Are we going to start getting competitive games against Beechwood now?
So Somerset's one of those teams that they play larger schools, much like Beechwood does, and they'll play that tougher schedule. They're not afraid to play anybody down there. They're always a tough program, and they got tough, hard-nosed, blue blue collar style kids that play there. And it's, a lot of people from Somerset live up north now, and it's kind of an interesting group. But every once in a while, I'll run into somebody from Somerset. Josh Cordell or Zeke Correll, the Notre Dame offensive lineman for years, and went to Anderson. His dad was from there. Eli Cunningham, a former player of the year for us up in Dayton, offensive player of the year. His dad was from Somerset. So a lot of locals with Somerset ties around the area. Pretty cool stuff.
Absolutely. We look forward to that next week. All right, we are up against it. I did want to give a quick score right over there in Class 1A, Region 3 also. Newport did come up short tonight, Greg. Their season ends against Kentucky Country Day. Real quick thoughts on that before we take
Yeah, I mean, Coach Wiggins did a great job with this team. They have some players. They a couple of those kids will be coming back, but they lose quarterback Kyle Lee, defensive back, real stud for them. But Paul Higgins is a good coach, and I expect them to compete with Newcastle again next year and do some good things again in Class 1A.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to take our final break. We're going to be right back here to wrap it all up with you until 11 p.m. We'll talk about some of the matchups tonight and next week before we get out of here. So stick with us on the High School Football Tonight Show, powered by TriStateFootball.com on Fox Sports 1360.
So,
yes, thank you.
Just let us know if Williams gets in and gets on the line. Thank you.
So with this one, we'll run through the score, Southwest Ohio, talk about what's going on next week, because we had all of Kentucky. We had all of Northern Kentucky.
So I got the box score from Beechwood here.
Mhm.
Hayton only threw one touchdown pass. It was 38-0 at halftime, 44-7. Tyler Fryman caught a pass to Hayton to start the game. Then Tyler Fryman got a 40-yard rush. Flaherty had 3 touchdowns rushing. Yeah, 3 rushing touchdowns for Flaherty. Fryman's back. That's huge for them. He broke his collarbone. He was like a preseason athlete on TSF preseason first team.
Kenzie, what's my time? I know you're giving me 30 seconds, but what time am I looking at? Got it.
Yeah, that's the only box score I have. Well, it's only because Daniel gave it to me.
Let me see if Anderson updated theirs. They did not.
No. Yeah. I don't see anything from GCL either.
Nothing from Moeller.
GCL. Oh, we might be next week. We may be on Wednesday night.
Wednesday night.
So we'll take a listen to that. Maybe we will be on Friday. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's usually
Because now it's going to be a 2-hour pregame show, right? With X losing.
I'm not sure what they will do.
Yeah, let me know so then I can look at my work schedule. Freaking X. Just won the game.
I'll do whatever. Statewide RPI, Franklin County, Cupcake.
It's a pleasure working with you. Well, segment on.
Last segment of the year, boys. At least for the post-game show.
Wait a minute. I've got Franklin County
Mhm.
beating Corbin.
Oh, really?
Oh, no, it's not right. I got Franklin County.
Oh, I can change it. I can.
Yeah, I think that changed there.
So Franklin County.
So it looks. Oh, Franklin County. Where's Franklin County? Is that down by Bardstown?
I guess it's good tomorrow. We'll pray Franklin
How the hell
County.
we get Corbin on there?
I did that. That's what you told me. That's why I put it on there.
Oh, I totally messed that up. No, it is Franklin.
So Franklin
That's my-
County?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
my fault.
Because you told me Somerset,
Yeah.
Great Crossing, and then you said Corbin. I'll
Yeah.
come out with that. I'll be like, hey,
Franklin
correction. Cupcats playing Franklin County.
It looks like they may be playing at Franklin County.
Mhm.
Depends on the RPI.
Who's ranked higher?
Yeah, right now Franklin's number 2 behind Boyle County.
Boyle.
Cupcake could.
So that Cupcats might have to slay 2 Giants.
Here we go.
All right, welcome back in. High School Football Tonight Show, powered by TriStateFootball.com. Here on Fox Sports 1360. Stephon Ulvey, Greg Shoemaker, TriStateFootball.com. Right after the show ends, be sure to tune in live to WLWT Blitz 5 at 11 with all the scores and highlights from across the area. Join Charlie Clifford, Olivia Ray right after this on WLWT Channel 5. And Greg, we were talking outside of here on the break. It looks like we got our scores confused for the Class 4A Region 3 next round. We said it was going to be Corbin, but from what you're seeing, it looks like it's actually going to be Franklin County against Cupcake next week. Is that correct?
Yes, that's
Franklin
what I'm
County?
seeing.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So scratch that. So it will be Covington Catholic versus Franklin County, right? Who seems to be the number 2 seed behind Boyle County, right? Who Covington
In the
Catholic
RPI,
just beat tonight, right?
Yeah.
So Covington Catholic has a chance to slay the top 2 Dragons over there in Class 4 Region 3. All right, Greg, we're going to wrap this up for the next couple minutes before we get out of here. Greg, let's talk about that Division 1, Region 4, and Division 2, Region 8. Right, we talked to Barrett Cohen, so let's get to that Division 2 game first. Right, Anderson taking down LaSalle, an awesome game, 28-21. Anderson wins that game. Great season for LaSalle, and now Anderson for the second consecutive year back in the Final Four.
How about that? Back-to-back regional titles and 4th in school history. Good stuff there. Evan Dreyer getting it done. I'm telling you, we talk a lot about this Taft team being athletic, but this defense for Anderson's no joke either. Hats off to LaSalle. Great year for those guys as well. But Anderson's got some talent, and now they get Big Walnut instead of Maslin, who got upset by Big Walnut tonight, 14-7. But Big Walnut's won 13 in a row after dropping their opener, and to Bishop Watterson, who is 14-0 right now. So a very good Big Walnut team who's played some incredibly tough teams the last few weeks and to start the season. So
Absolutely. Anderson versus Big Walnut for a chance at the state championship game. That game will be next Friday. And Greg, I want to jump over to Division 4, Region 16. You just mentioned the Taft Senators are the champions of that region. They were taking on Kettering Alter tonight, who were in the state championship game, I believe, for 2 years in a row. Last year for sure, and they were also in the state championship the year before that. The 5 seed versus the 10 seed. Greg, Taft dominates this game. It was 26-12. And again, it was 26-6, Greg, late in this game. Alter got a late touchdown. What an awesome season, right? Taft has had. They got athletes everywhere. We continue to mention it. Head coach Tyler Williams has done an awesome job. And now they are back in the Final Four looking for a state championship appearance. Big shout out to the CMAC.
Heck yeah.
yeah, let it out. Let it out. We're playing playoff football
baby.
here.
Yeah, good job for those guys. It's so exciting for the CMAC. Really starting to get its just due, thanks to Taft and thanks to Withrow. There are athletes coming out of this public league, and they are not only athletes coming out of the public league, people want to coach there, and people want to be a part of what's going on there. And Tyler's done an awesome job with this CAF program, but there's guys that have been before Tyler that have set this up in order for this to happen. 10 straight playoff appearances, now their first ever regional title. The sky's the limit with this team still. 2 games left, and man, they're very, very capable of winning this. But I also want to say something about this. To beat this Alter team, who's had a lot of struggles this year, losing their quarterback Gavin Connor in week 2, then week 3, they lose to Taft. 36-7. With their first game without him, and then to get to where they are. Ed Domsites is a heck of a coach there, and they'll be back again next year. They've got some good players coming back. So Alter, Wyoming, Clinton, Massey, Taft. What do you want? I mean, it's all there. This is such a great Region 16.
Absolutely. Taft is the Division 4 Region 16 champion. And Greg, a couple of those Dayton scores, right? Bellbrook, they were the 3 seed in Division 3 Region 12. They were shut out tonight. Their season ends. They were taking on London. That game was 13-0. Bellbrook loses. And then that Centerville game, who we know they will be taking on Moeller next week, they defeated Wayne tonight by a score of 23-14. Real quick thoughts on that Centerville team that we're going to be seeing Moeller take on next week.
Yeah, they played very well for Brent Ellery the last few years. Haven't cracked this. This is only their second regional in school history. The last one came in 1991 when they were state runner-up. This is a team that runs the football. They got a quarterback that's pretty much Erods. He went 3 for 12 tonight, but had a 73-yard touchdown pass. But he ran for close to 100 tonight. So, and then they got Parker Johnson, 5'9" and 200-pound. 25 rushing touchdowns for this kid. He's just a bull and a beast, a bull in a china shop. They got defense. We talked about it earlier. They had 15 tackles for losses tonight and 5 sacks against this Wayne team. So they're going to get after it and they're going to bring pressure. How Matt Pownatowski handles it, we'll see. But Moeller's been there before. Centerville hasn't, and I like those odds when you have a team that knows what it takes at this level.
Absolutely, Greg. And real quick, I want to talk about St. Xavier, right? Tony, Shad, Ralph Nardini, they've been hanging out with us for 20 years, right? We want to thank them for everything that they do, the emotion that they show, right? The pride that they show in St. X. Talk to me about the St. X team, right? What do you think about them really quick for next year and overall thoughts on the season?
They got some great pieces coming back. Braden Riley, Judge Jacoby Clapper, Daniel Vollmer, those guys are all back. I think you're going to see a team very similar to what you saw this year, but I do think up front we're going to see some improvements up front. I think they're going to be a much better team in the trenches on both sides of the ball, and they're going to be back here. They're going to make another decent run in the playoffs again, and 7 home games for them next year. They played all their games on Friday night for the first time in Steve Speck's career this year, and now we'll have 7 home games next season. So you like their odds, you like their odds when they can get some conformity to their seasons, and it's going to be a fun season to hang out. Hopefully we'll be back here before and after the games again next year. Nick Nardini, don't forget Nick now.
Yeah.
He's in there with Tony.
He's up and coming.
Ralph so it'll be a good thing. Thanks to all those guys and for everything they do with the St. Xavier broadcast. Those guys have been great.
Yeah,
over
absolutely.
the years.
And Greg, now with next week, right, with the Bombers being out, we're going to have a 2-hour show right next week, and the schedule is still to be released, which we'll talk about on.
It's either going to be on Wednesday or Friday, and
Yep.
and you'll let me know on that. And we'll get that all squared away so everybody knows. But yeah, 6 to 8, either on Wednesday or Friday next week.
Absolutely. Again, we'll talk about all the playoff games. We'll talk about all the fun that's
Mhm.
happening in the playoffs. So again, we want to thank Keegan Wood, Elena Moore, the entire Friday Football Live team. This is the last show because St. X did lose. Thank you guys
Thank
so
you,
much.
kids.
We appreciate you
Thank
guys.
you,
Thank you
KU.
to the entire crew, Wes Miller, everybody. So Greg and I will talk to you guys next week, 2-hour pregame show. We'll talk to you then on the High School Football Tonight Show, powered by TriStateFootball.com on Fox Sports 1360.